Howdy folks, my name is Zero, and this is the step-by-step guide on how to create this color action for helping you streamline the process of laying down your flats. I've already explained what this action does in another video, so I'll just link that in the description below. Let's get right to it. Okay, first things first, let's find our actions palette. I keep mine open at all times up here, but if you don't already have it open, go ahead to the Windows tab and just scroll down until you find it. I am using Photoshop CS5, so if you have Creative Cloud or an older version of Photoshop, it may be somewhere else, I don't know. But if you have trouble locating it, just use your help menu or look it up online. Once it opens, it may or may not look like this. This is button mode, and this is how I prefer to keep my actions palette open, because visually I just like the idea that each action is a button that I press in order to activate. But we are going to turn button mode off in order to create a new action. We're not going to hit record just yet because there are a few more things we have to go over. Secondly, some shortcuts. So the whole point of this action is that when you have your line art layer on the top and you want to color on your color layer underneath, it switches for you, so you don't get confused or it doesn't take as much time. But rather than clicking back and forth to select the layers, which is not reliable when the actions record the action of clicking back and forth, we're going to use our keyboard shortcuts. So in order to switch from the top layer to the one directly beneath it, you need to use Option or Alt and your left bracket. Right bracket will bring you back to the one above it. Finally, I'm going to prep the stage by drawing a closed shape in the top layer and then selecting the inside using my magic wand tool. Now we can hit record. Click on this little icon here that looks like the new layer icon, and it will open this dialog box. You can name your new action anything you want. And even select a color to help differentiate that button from your others. You can also set it to a function key. I don't really know what all of my function keys do, so I prefer not to mess with them. Once you hit record, anything you do becomes an action that it will repeat back to you when you click on that button. So let's begin. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit Option left bracket to move the selected layer down one. Next, we're going to expand our selection so that the color ends up beneath the line that we've drawn and gives us a clean edge. Go up to your Select palette, down to Modify, and Expand. We don't want to expand it by too much, or some of your thinner lines might have the opposite problem where the color underneath goes over and basically colors outside of the lines. But you don't want to expand it by too little or it won't achieve its purpose. I find 2 is about right. You can see now that the marching ants are beneath the black outline. Next, we're going to go to Edit, Fill, and have it fill with the foreground color. Now we're going to deselect our selection. If you're using a Mac, press COMMAND+D, or Control-D if you have a Windows computer. You can also use Select, Deselect. Next, we need to move the selected layer back up to the line art layer using our Alt or Option plus right bracket. Now our action is complete. Press the stop button or this little square to stop recording the action. Return to button mode to see your new action. You can modify the action's attributes at any time. I've come a long way from coloring in my comics with just the brush tool, and this action really takes it to the next level. I've said this before, but Photoshop really is not a drawing or illustration program like Manga Studio and Sai, but there are enough tools available to you that if you know how to utilize them, can prove very efficient. I hope this has been helpful to some of you. It certainly has saved me a lot of time and frustration from fumbling about with the layers. If you have any other questions about Photoshop or drawing, feel free to ask and I'll do my best to help you out. If you haven't already, please check out my Pokemon fan comic, Jet's Black Nuzlocke, which you can read at jetsblacknuzlocke.com. Thank you.